When Supermassive Games, the mind behind cool hits like Until Dawn and the Dark Picture anthology, announced their latest venture, The Casting of Frank Stone, fans of interactive horror games were understandably excited, as the game promised a unique expansion of the Dead by Daylight universe, blending Supermassive's signature narrative-driven gameplay with the sinister lore of one of the most popular multiplayer horror games in recent memory. However, despite the intriguing premise and the potential for a captivating horror experience, The Casting of Frank Stone ultimately falls short of the standards set by its predecessors. At its core, The Casting of Frank Stone is a game with a story that immediately grabs your attention, at least on paper, as the narrative unfolds across three distinct time periods, 1963, 1980, and 2024, each one connected by a mysterious cold horror film that serves as the linchpin for the game's events. The game's story kicks off with a bang as players witness the downfall of Frank Stone, a menacing killer whose spirit becomes trapped within a film reel, only for it to resurface decades later to haunt a group of unsuspected individuals. While the concept of a cursed film and the repercussions of its existence could have made for a gripping tale, the execution unfortunately leaves much to be desired, as the narrative quickly becomes convoluted, jumping between timelines and characters in a way that feels more disorienting than immersive. Supermassive has a history of crafted, intricate, branching narratives, but in The Casting of Frank Stone, these choices often feel inconsequential, and plot points that should have carried weight end up feeling rushed, and the characters themselves are little more than archetypes, lacking the depth necessary to make their fates truly resonate. One of the most glaring issues with The Casting of Frank Stone is its cast of characters. In past Supermassive titles, even the most cliched characters manage to invoke some level of empathy, or at the very least entertain with their over-the-top personalities. Here, however, the characters are flat, with motivations that are either unclear or simply uninteresting. Frank Stone, the titular antagonist, is underdeveloped as a character. Despite being the central figure around which the entire narrative revolves, Frank lacks the presence and menace that could have made him a memorable villain. And similarly, the supporting cast, spanning multiple timelines, failed to make this lasting impression. The 1980 segment, for instance, features a group of teens filming a horror movie, a setup that should have provided an ample opportunity for character-driven tension and drama. But instead, these characters are little more than vessels for the plot to move forward, and their interactions are forgettable at best. The lack of meaningful character development significantly detracts from the story's impact, making it difficult for players to care about the outcome of their choices. Supermassive Games is also well known for its blend of narrative-driven gameplay and interactive horror elements. But unfortunately, The Casting of Frank Stone feels more like a regression rather than an evolution of this formula. The gameplay is basic, bordering on rudimentary, with limited environmental interactions and an over-reliance on quick-time events that lack the tension and immediacy found in previous Supermassive titles. An exploration in the game is presented, but poorly implemented, as you can rummage through the rooms and find collectibles, but these interactions often feel inconsequential. The game encourages exploration, yet there's little reward for doing so, as discovering items rarely influence the story or characters' fates in any meaningful way. Honestly, this disconnection between exploration and narrative impact is disappointing, especially considering the potential for deeper storytelling through environmental clues and artifacts. Moreover, the game's mechanics are hampered by the lack of polish. Controls often feel clunky and the game's pacing suffers as a result. And the cutting room floor feature, which allows players to replay specific choices without starting the game over, is a welcome addition, but it ultimately feels like a band-aid over a large problem. The gameplay lacks the fluidity and refinement the players have come to expect from Supermassive, making the game feel like a missed opportunity rather than a true evolution of the developer's style. And although visually the game looks good, these game environments can often feel uninspired and repetitive. The 1980s teen mill and the 2024 mansion settings, while distinct, fail to deliver an atmospheric dread that could have elevated the horror experience. The repeated use of environments further diminishes the game's visual impact, making exploration feel monotonous. And adding to this, the character models and animations are noticeably less polished than previous Supermassive titles. There are moments of jankiness, with characters occasionally moving awkwardly or getting stuck. And these technical issues, combined with the lack of visual flair, detract from the overall immersion and leave the game feeling unfinished. One of the more unique features of this game is its Die Together mode, which is a couch co-op experience where up to 5 players can take on the roles of the game characters, passing the controller as the narrative shifts between them. And while this mode could have added a layer of fun and replayability, it ultimately feels underutilized. The frequent character switches make it difficult for any single player to become fully invested in the role, and the mode lacks the cohesion necessary to make it a compelling group experience. Furthermore, the replay value of the game is limited. While there are multiple endings and paths to explore, the lack of meaningful choices and the underwhelming narrative make it unlikely that players will feel motivated to return for a second playthrough. In my opinion, The Casting of Frank Stone is a game that had potential to be a standout entry in the Supermassive Games portfolio, but it ultimately falls short in almost every aspect. The narrative, while initially intriguing, is brought down by the shallow characters and a lack of cohesive storytelling. The gameplay feels like a step backwards, with basic mechanics and uninspiring exploration that fail to engage the player. Visually, the game is a letdown, with repetitive environments and technical issues that further detract from the experience. For me, the game is a 6.2 out of 10. And for the fans of Dead by Daylight and Supermassive Games, unfortunately this is a game I recommend you skip over, as I cannot recommend this to you. If you've played the game, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.